Hello, 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 my lovelies. It is Talk Radio, TAWK Radio, with your hostess Cypher Kai, here on the Worldwide Wednesdays. Musical mix at 6 on www.tawkradio.com/shows. And I am your hostess Cypher Kai. Now, tonight, guys, you forgive me, I've got a little niggle in my throat. Running around this New York City weather, it's 50-something degrees one day, 20-something degrees the next day, and hot flashes and all kinds of things, so my throat is a little off. Sorry. It is live radio, unscripted, uncensored, and unapologetic. So tonight, as we discuss the business of sickness part 1, the business of sickness part 1 is what we're going to talk about tonight. I also pulled some new news for you guys to hear this evening. The show will be light tonight because, again, the niggling in my throat is just a lot. Hopefully it won't conquer on me while I'm broadcasting right now. Right then, because it got worse. It's like as soon as I put the headphones on, it's like it got worse. So anyway, got some music queued up to play. Let's see what order. All right, let's start off with a little Maya, True Love, here on the Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
We're all looking for something more. So we've been looking for, we are searching for true love. I thought I'd never feel that I'm talking about a true love. They ask me how you find that. I tell them since the day I met her. Frankly, I don't care, I'm changing for the better. But better me than her, cause honestly I think she got it all together. I'm looking at the new me, I didn't want to, but I know I had to. Now I'm on to that matters. Had to flip the script, let the past go, no more. No longer repeating, finally deleting photo after photo.
TAWK Radio, Worldwide Wednesdays.
Just had to say that, cause you know it's true. You don't have to be famous, it's true. You could be nameless, it's true. Desire what's inside of you. It's not impossible to find true. Never feel that I'm talking about a true love. They ask me how you find that. It's been a bit of a journey, one hell of a ride, but I held on real tight and knew
TAWK Radio. TAWK Radio with Cypher Kai on Worldwide Wednesdays. TAWK Radio Worldwide Wednesdays, musical mix at 6 on Talk Radio. You guys, I'm here thugging for you. As I mentioned, I got a niggle in my throat. And so every so often I feel my voice going in and out. But I will stick on as long as I can. It's live radio, unscripted, uncensored. Shout out to Mr. J. Grant that's tuned in. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to Mr. Harrison, also who's tuned in. Mr. Bossman, big-brained Bossman tuned in right now. Shout out to Anthony the Lyft Driver early in the show. I remember this time, early in the show. Shout out also to Ven from Veno Music, who I'm sure will be on soon, if not on already. Shout out to all of the archivers as well. You guys are making this such a movement. You go in, you listen to the archives, you share them around like an STD on a college campus. What? Now, you see, other people would have found it tacky to make a comment like that in the middle of a global pandemic. But you know me, cipher is cipher, right? Cipher is cipher. So I say what I say, and I said what I said, and so what? All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about the business of sickness. The business of sickness, right? Part 1, because I know there's so many more layers to this that I'd like to explore and dig into, and I got a staff again. But tonight, just a few things that I've been talking about on the show before. If you guys go back in the archives to the intellectual shows. And before I started doing the Wednesdays, there's a lot of the Freaky Friday shows that in the second hour of the show, I was talking about some pretty brainy things as well. See, it's not always just naughty things we discuss on the show. But we will be overhauling the platform soon. I am going to attack Cuomo. Oh my God. So, God, I love my fans and my VIPs. My fans, my talkers. You guys are not fans. You're talkers. We're family here. But yes, I'm going to slaughter King Cuomo. Of course I am. Of course I am. First of all, we broadcast from New York City in the United States. And I specify that because we have a global reach, which I forgot to pull the stats. I'm going to do that in a second. But King Cuomo, as I've been calling him, Mr. Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York State, has been acting like a bit of a dictator since he's got executive powers extended to him since the pandemic that he does not want to relinquish. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to play some more music, and then I'm going to come back and talk about Mr. Cuomo. He's not really the topic of the evening, but we normally get into the topic of the evening 30 minutes in. Give you guys a chance to get settled, come in from work, take your shoes off, go poop, get up your bear, your henny, whatever you do, get your babies away from you, get your headphones on and all that stuff. Now, as though it's not sexually explicit content tonight, I might let a few F-bombs fly because I get very passionate about people taking advantage of other people. I am like a bully deterrent. I'm a victim protector. I don't like to see bullying in any form it comes. And bullying is not only in the schoolyard, someone push you down, whatever. Bullying is across the board. When you have the ability to do something to overshadow, make someone submissive, hurt them in some kind of way, you are bullying them mentally, financially, however that looks. And so I am an advocate for the victims of bullying. I'm a bully basher. Oh, I'm a bully basher. I like that. I just made that up just there. Made that up just there. Anyway, so let's continue. I do have some audio clips for you to play for you guys tonight because, again, my throat is hurting. So at some point when we start talking about, I'm going to let the audio clips play, and then I will give commentary so that you guys can hear for yourselves from other people. And I will give in my thoughts and opinions behind it and try to spare my voice a little. But I'm going to go off tonight. I can feel it. I can feel the F-bombs. Maybe that's what's choking up in my throat right now. The F-bombs wanting to fly out. I'm thinking. So anyway, as we continue here. Ooh, let's see. That was a really nice Maya song. I'm calling an audible. I'm thinking I'm going to have to end the show with that song as a replay. No, I'm a bully basher. I am a bully basher. Send me the link for your show so I can tell the audience about it, Mr. Harrison. Send me like something they can get on to listen to your thing tonight. I'll share the stage with you tonight. Mr. Harrison is one of my VIP talkers. And he also has a platform, and I don't mind sharing because you guys are amazing. You can learn a lot of things, and I respect it. And tonight he's supposed to be having a conversation about reparations. I don't know if I'll be able to tune in, but if you guys want to hear some scholarly people talking about scholarly big brain things, that's a good one. I'm going to try to sneak on later on. I think they do it via Zoom or something. But Mr. Harrison, send me some. God damn it! You expect me to read all of this? I'm not reading all of this. Give me something simple like a phone number they can dial into to listen or something. You give me links, and I don't know about the links, and I don't know how to do that. Right? Give me something I can just say www. something, or call this phone number something, password number something, that kind of thing. Something very simple. I got like 10 things in my face, Mr. Harrison. Appreciate you. But reparations, I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. And at some point on the show, I'm going to discuss that, as I've mentioned to you guys before. In my day job that I won't mention right now, I experience my set of reparations at least weekly to monthly. We'll talk about that another time. Anyway, if you're just tuning in, today is the Worldwide Wednesdays on www.tawkradio.com/shows with your hostess, Cypher Kai. And tonight we're talking about the business of sickness part 1. Business of Sickness, Part 1. All right, so let's play another song here. All right, Calling My Phone. I just pulled some things. I don't know what most of this stuff sounds like. But this one is Calling My Phone, Lil TJ featuring Six Lack. I always think I say this person's name wrong. Anyway, Calling My Phone, Lil TJ featuring Six Lack here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Steady calling my phone. I done told you before that it's over. Leave me alone. No, it's hurting you to see me gone. Dark clouds, you gon' see me storm. I won't go back, but trust me, you gon' hold that. Hold that.
CAWK Radio.
I ain't tryna play these games no more. I don't wanna be touching your name no more. I ain't tryna feel this pain no more. And I'm sorry, but my feelings ain't the same no more. Used to be my homie, you ain't gang no more. I am not a you could claim no more. Traumatized, hoping it don't rain no more. You done put me through some things that done changed my aura. Now all around the world I explore no Dora. No, I'm a dripper than the Euro. Fast, shorty, straight heat, no Florida. Bad and she doing for herself, I applaud her. No need, yeah, I'm talking my boo. So please, leave me alone, I'm through. And it's all cause I was too started. I been told you I'm gonna steady calling my phone. I done told you before that it's over. Leave me alone. No, it's hurting you to see me gone. Dark clouds, you gon' see me storm. I won't go back.
CAWK Radio, Worldwide Wednesdays.
Hold that.
Tryna play no games, my love. I'm one of a kind, couldn't fake my love. Earthquake makes some shake, my love. Most of them can't even relate, my love. Used to be gang, oh now you're not gang. Used to have fun, oh now you got shame. Used to catch flights, but now I'm not playing. Play on words, she love it when the same. I ain't tryna play your game no more. No, you can't wear my chain no more. We are not a thing, can't take no more. Waiting on your king, you can wait some more. Yeah, I remember days when I used to adore her.
TAWK Radio with Cypher Kai.
I'm a Fendi and Diora. Get a mood swing, I'll be gone by tomorrow.
Steady calling my phone. I done told you before that it's over. Leave me alone. No, it's hurting you to see me gone. Dark clouds, you gon' see me storm. I won't go back, but trust me, you gon' hold that. Hold that.
TAWK Radio with your host Cypher Kai on this Worldwide Wednesdays. Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio. Shout out again to Mr. Ven in the public chat room. How are you, my darling? You want to pay close attention to this because tonight, We're going to be breaking news here tonight on Talk Radio. When I say breaking news, I'm sure it's information that's available. Are people looking for it? No, because they're too busy stalking their stimulus checks and their tax returns and those kind of things, trying to distract you guys from things. But that's what I'm here for, to give you guys information that you don't have. And if people don't believe you, you send them the link and tell them to listen back to Talk Radio. And don't take my word for it. Of course not. You pay attention to where I tell you the sources come from for these stories, and feel free to open up a tab and look this stuff up yourself. It's online. Open a tab. I don't mind sharing your attention. Keep me in your ears and use your eyes to do something else. Have an opinion about something. Right? Now, also, as I'm talking to you, if you are so inclined to check out our Freaky Friday shows that's coming up, it's been getting very intense, you guys. We're doing our ABCs of Sex series. I believe we're up to the letter I. Yes, the letter I this week. There is a 24/7 hotline number you can leave your sex stories on. You don't have to leave your name. 347-450-3958. I would love it if you guys would leave some stories in there. Make it like a minute or two. Not too much longer than that, so I can upload the voicemails and play them again. I won't divulge, your phone numbers. Obviously, I don't know your names unless you say something when you call. But I will let you know this ahead of time. If you call, because I don't listen to them ahead of time, I pull them randomly. If I find you're saying something disrespectful about me, or there's some kind of pedophilic fantasy you have, I'm letting you know right now, I have no love and or respect for pedophiles of any gender, and I will say the entire phone number of the number you call from, and I will find you, IP address, regular address, ID, and all kinds of things, and put you on front page all over the internet. And I'm sure the law enforcement personnel that listen to the show would love to come and knock on your door and pay you a visit. So said. Long as I got it out there. All right then. So this is Talk Radio. Like I said, look, my sponsors, my talkers understand what this is. This is an acquired taste, and there is no cancel culture here. So if you don't like what I'm saying, move along. That's all you do, move along. But there's no cancelling Talk Radio. Right? There's no cancelling Talk Radio. Right? No. We don't do those things. And trolls are for under the bridge. Like in Dora. Was that Dora, the grumpy little troll that loved Under the Bridge? Something like that. Our kids used to love that. So let's continue. The next one I'm going to play, I think I can do two more before we start the topic of the evening, which is the Business of Sickness Part 1. Business of Sickness Part 1. Some of this stuff you guys are not going to believe. I couldn't believe it myself. I was like, what? All of you people who are sitting home right now hurting for bills and that stuff, you're going to be really pissed off. You're going to be really pissed off when you figure out where a lot of our tax money is going. Now, why are you sending me messages and deleting them? Mr. Grant? Put back what you took off. Put it back. All right. So the next one we're going to play here this evening is going to be, I want to make sure I'm not playing the new news by accident. Hold on. I think this one should be fine. This one is I Like It, featuring Kiana Lede and Seven Streeter and Coi Leray here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Oh, you're so righteous, so righteous, so righteous. Oh, baby, I like it, yeah, I like it, I like it. Oh, you get me excited, excited, excited. Oh, baby, I like it, Cut these niggas off, cause you know you my type. Call up Aviani just to get my ice right. You right here, you not caught up in the nightlife. A1 dick, baby, you got good pipe. He gon' pull up on me, big B's on the wheel. He gon' vent to me, baby, tell me how you feel. Smile for me, baby, put the pussy on your grill. Don't lie to me, baby, promise that you'll keep it real. Gucci steppin' when he walk in the room. Real nigga, yeah, I like how he move. He a boss and I like how he do it. Grab the camera, baby, let's make a movie. I need to know if it's worth it. Communication not working. Ay, come and show me that you're about it, babe. Ooh, you gotta earn it. Ooh, you're so righteous, so righteous, so righteous. Ooh, baby, I like it, I like it, I like it. Ooh, you get me excited, excited, excited. Ooh, baby, I like it, I like it, I like it. Baby, you got me hitting all different kinds at my own shows. You got me singing your praises in my solo. Yeah, I'ma let you know with every syllable. Yeah, I can't make out anything that you say. Yeah, wanna hear my name. I need to know if it's working. Communication ain't perfect, so come and show me that you bought it, baby. Ooh, you gotta learn it. Yeah. Ooh, you're so righteous, so righteous, so righteous. Ooh, baby, I like it, yeah, I like it, I like it. Ooh, you get me excited, excited, excited. Ooh, baby, I like it, I like it,
TAWK Radio.
Soon as you walk in, let you break my back. While you licking on my lips, I might give you FaceTime. You're so close to the none of your cover, your face tag. Ooh, I'm tryna meet you outside the liquor store. I keep it tight and lit like the switch roll. So can you knock on my window? Bang, bang, make that shit crescendo. We can now make it urgent. I need communication in person. So come and show me that you bout it, babe. It working. Oh, so righteous, so righteous, so righteous. Oh, baby, I like it, yeah, I like it, I like it. When you put that thing, oh, you get me excited, excited, excited. Oh, baby, I like it, I like it, I like it, I like that shit. You know that I like that shit.
TAWK Radio's Worldwide Wednesdays with your host is Cypher Kai on www.tawkradio.com/shows. I'm going to start some arguments tonight, you guys. Yeah, my voice is coming back. It'll probably disappear again soon, but it's coming back. Let me say, like I said, tonight we're talking about, the main topic is the business of sickness part 1. But I got some things I need to get off my titties about King Cuomo. I said off my titties, I said that. This is what I told you when the link went out. It said, adult language use, parental discretion advised, headphones are required. It's not a suggestion. It's not oh, I got headphones, but I don't need them. It is a requirement. It's a requirement. Because again, as I mentioned, I don't like bullies, especially power bullies. Not powerful bullies, power bullies. The ones who get drunk with power and feel that they can do whatever the hell they like. Now, King Cuomo, as I've been saying for a while, him and Mayor de Blasio here in New York, they've been having the pissing contests, even before the pandemic, but more so since, right? You're an idiot, you're an idiot, you're an idiot. They're saying this kind of things roundabout, right? But their actions are saying what they're saying. Now, you guys have been noticing at the beginning of the pandemic, you heard me talking about how everybody who's not from here, who doesn't live here in the state, oh my God, Cuomo's so articulate. He's so this and that. Oh God, I wish our governor was like that. I wish our president was like that. I wish our this was like that. Da 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 da. And I said, okay, you guys are falling for the fucking okie doke. There goes the F-bomb. There it is. If this offends you, log off. www.movethefuckon.com is where you should go. I don't know who owns the domain, just not here. Right? Okay. So I kept telling you guys these things, and I said, you know, I'm sure he's good enough at what he does. I've not been following politics like I should, fallen off a little, but there's an energy that surrounds him, right? And they all get it. They all get it. No matter what your intentions are when you go into politics, no matter how clean your intentions are, at some point, if you don't stay grounded, and I'm not saying every single politician is fucked up, because I've got some really cool, awesome ones that follow the show, and not just because they follow the show are they awesome. They're fucking awesome because they do what they say they will do, right? Okay. Now, when you get in, though, power is very intoxicating. You guys will notice, even if you're having a relationship and doing something sexual, and I'm going to keep it clean, it's Wednesday, but you notice when you're doing something to your partner, whether you be a man or a woman, and you notice how their body moves with you, you go, ooh, I got him now, I got her now, and you continue to do that thing. It's a power play. It becomes very addictive because you recognize in this moment, you can bend someone to your will, right? Now, that's the backstory for what I want to talk about. Now, Mr. King Cuomo is getting caught his hands in a cookie jar with a couple of things. They've been fudging the numbers for the COVID deaths. Now, the funny thing is, most states, and I think New York was doing it as well on a different, I think, fuck it, all the states did it. I'm saying what I'm saying, my opinion, right? All of the states, I believe, at the beginning of the pandemic were actually and absolutely fudging their numbers. They were throwing their numbers up way higher than they actually were. I have proof of this happening more than once, more than twice, more than thrice in New York City, from personal experience, from friends of mine whose relatives have passed and got COVID diagnoses that did not die from COVID. Oops, I said that. I said what I said, right? And I believe in the beginning, a lot of people were fudging the numbers because they thought they were going to get federal funding. Based on, oh my God, the urgency, so many people are dying, what PPE equipment do you need, and this and that. And I'm not saying this to be a dick. I'm not, right? You guys know my stance on the vaccines and all that. That's not what this conversation is. But the mindset, because remember, it is business. When all the states had to go into lockdown, tourism had slowed down, everything slowed down. Everyone, privately and publicly, were trying to figure out how the hell they were going to stay afloat. Because running a city and a state is a business. No matter what you want to say about it, it's a business. So they were thinking, well, what can we do to get money from this megalomaniac sitting there saying, this thing does not exist? And then he allegedly caught it. Trump I'm talking about now. Goes to the hospital, gets his fancy dose of drugs, comes out brand new. All his supporters thinks he's got God genes and whatever. It's business. So, fudging the numbers to try to get funding. But in turn, while he was fudging the numbers on one side, he was skewing them on the other side with the nursing homes, right? Because what he did was, he says, oh, well, we can't afford to have these old people who got one foot in the grave anyway to be here in the hospitals taking up ventilators and things for other people. Let's send them back to the nursing homes where they came from, even though they're sick. So more people died in the nursing homes than was expected, than was reported, I should say, because they were skewing those numbers. So while they're pumping the numbers on one side, hoping to get federal funding, right, they were lowering the amount of people that actually passed away from COVID in the most susceptible community, which is the older people and people with compromised immune systems. On the other side, oh, no, not that many people passed away. The funny thing is, had you believed the narrative he was telling, which I kept telling you guys, he's full of shit, it seemed as though, based on what I was looking, I said, wait, how are there less old people dying from COVID than are normally dying any goddamn way, right? Let's say, for instance, in a month in New York City, let's say 500 people per month. I don't know the stats, but 500 people per month over the age of 70 die just from whatever. Tired of their grandkids, sick of the home attendant, just whatever. And they die. And then all of a sudden, during his counting, it's like, oh, but for some glorious reason, even in the middle of a pandemic, the normal capacity is 500 people dying per month has now become 230 people per month. Again, I don't know the actual math. I'm just saying, it seems as though less people were dying during a pandemic than when they normally do. Lying son of a bitch. Anyway, so he did that. So he's got that going on. And then on top of that, so he's got the nursing home scandal. And it's like three things, isn't it? But the biggest thing right now is the fact that he's been messing around with some interns or wanting to mess around with interns or whatever. Here's the thing. Jesus, let me do a public service announcement right now to all the politicians that listen to the show, politicians, interns, whoever's, celebrities of all about. Look it. Please learn from your counterparts. Please learn from your counterparts. Please learn from your counterparts. There's always someone looking to take you down. Not a conspiracy, just a fact. So what you need to do is not fall for the bait or believe that at any point in time during your career, whether it be money-wise, power-wise, status, that you are above reproach, you dumbass. You can't be messing with the interns. Bill Clinton did it. So what he get? He got to be the butt of jokes for years. He got some overweight little white girl to climb under the table and suck his cock. People still talk about it. Okay, right? He got impeached, though, officially got impeached. God knows there's a bunch of Hollywood executives and whoever. Look it. You don't hire interns and aides to fuck around with them. You know why? Because they don't want to fuck around with you. Irregardless of what you people think, young people don't actually want to have sex with old people. I'm going to give that to you one more again. Young people don't actually want to have sex with old people. Men or women. Now, what's this terminology? MILF, mothers I like to bleep, right? There's an allure to some degree for some people. But people who work for you, they might sleep with you if they think they can get something from it, but they don't like it, right? There's very rarely a time where you're going to find a young person with an old person that's not like super uber rich and faithful. Hear what I said? They'll lay up with you if they think they can get things, but they're keeping a young piece somewhere because you're old, right? And outside, even if you've got your body fit, you guys can't really talk about much, can you? You can't really talk about much. It's some pieces missing there. So now Mr. King Cuomo has been messing around with these interns and aides and things. During the height of the pandemic, some of them are claiming they were so offended, they wanted to just help their city and state, and here he goes trying to make passes. So one person's like, oh, he kissed me without my permission and petitioned me to play strip poker. That's one lady. Another one said, she came to him to talk to him about something, sex-related, a sexual abuse situation or something. And he goes and questions and says, well, are you monogamous in your relationships? Do you sleep with older men? That kind of thing. Nasty ninja. Even if she did, she would be smart enough, I'd hope, not to shit where she sleeps. So maybe she won't mess with you as she's your age. You might bang your old judge friend or something like that. Right? She doesn't want you, buddy. Then the third girl comes out. This is the one, right? This one here, God bless her little heart. I'm going to find her name. I'm going to play a song soon and find their names and come back. But the last one, she's the most important one as far as I'm concerned. My opinion. Now she says he propositioned her, made her feel uncomfortable and what. You guys can open up your tabs and Google this, right? This last girl, though, said he was at a wedding somewhere, put his hand on her bare back. Let me pause there for a second. I don't know about most people, but that's one of my main erogenous spots. If you touch me on my lower back, oi, we need to find some place to lay down, get down, do something. That's like a thing. That's a thing. Now, I don't know if that was her spot, but I'm just saying that's a thing. He implied that when he did that. See, grown-ups like me, who are over the age of this young 20-something-year-old girl, understand certain things. Right? There's certain places besides the normal places that are very erogenous, right? Hand on lower back means, yep, let me gauge your temperature. But then there's a picture that he has with her where he's holding both sides of her face and she looks terrified and disgusted. And rightfully so. This power-mad, megalomaniacal son of a bitch, it's just overreaching completely. And let me start some arguments right now. Let me simply say, I believe two of the girls. One of them is a little older. She looks a little older. But is it just frigging me? Does anybody else notice that all of these aides look very much like his daughter? Ooh. Let me start some arguments right now. Most of these interns and aides that are complaining look very much like his daughter. They get traipsing around outside as though he was trying to auction her off. There was no valid reason why his daughter was at those press conferences during the pandemic. I mentioned that before, some archives from before, right? Unless you're trying to get her a job. So now you got experience that, oh, not only are you the daughter of the governor, but, oh, you are involved. You know how people spin things on your resume? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know, she worked with the governor. She did press conferences and however you spin that to make it look nice, right? Like if you went to the community college down the road from Harvard, you could say, hey, you know, I went to the school with a view of the Harvard lawns and da-da-da-da-da. And people kind of assume you're on Harvard. Not really, though, are you? Anyway, so I find it very odd that King Cuomo's out here chasing little girls around the same age of his daughter that look like his daughter. Now, let me start some arguments and say I would not be surprised to hear soon some memoir she brings out or some accusation, allegation, something that maybe one of the daughter's friends, I'd like to believe he didn't do it to the daughter. I don't want to think he's that dirty a bastard. I don't want to believe that. But maybe some friend of the daughter that did a sleepover before is going to pop out the woodwork and be like, you know, your dad used to touch me. Or he said something to me one time when I came in for a sleepover. Or something along those lines. I smell that coming. My nose is really big. I smell that coming. I smell that coming. I do. Smell that coming. I also told you guys the reason why him and Trump are butting heads all the time, because they're very similar, right? In their megalomaniacal ways, the things that we're doing, how they were handling certain things. Of course, Cuomo was smoother, more articulate, more effective in certain things, but that underlying yuck, it was there. I won't also be surprised to hear someone say soon enough, oh, he grabbed me by the pussy. You guys know Mr. Trump and the infamous, someone said he grabbed. Listen, I'm telling you. So I'm going to play some music, come back and carry on with that a little bit more. And then we're going to start talking deeper about the business of sickness part 1 here on the Worldwide Wednesdays. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Wilson, who's tuned in. Big up to Miss Wilson, who's hanging out with your personal trainer right now. Right? Get snatched, girl. Get snatched. Get cute and get snatched. So many people, right? So, hello again, Anthony, the Lyft driver. Hello, darling. Mr. B, you're on too. Jason B, you're on. All the Jasons are on tonight, all up. You guys know how you make me feel, honey. Okay, so let's continue. Hear some music. I love this young lady, Coi Leray. I'm gonna play another one. I don't remember this one either. But let's do it. This is Slide featuring Gunna from Coi Leray here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Only throw it back for the real one. You don't fall with the fake, you want a real one. Right underneath the shoes, you're the hill one. I just got me some new. Yeah, Balenciaga hoodie, you're the teal one. You already know what the deal was. Baby got them soft lips tryna feel some. I'll make your dreams come true. I know you're so lonely, just come on my side. We could talk or fuck, just let me make your mind. Big bags, baguettes, put me in some number 9. We could be so perfect, I promise that I'm worth it. We started off as friends, and we did it in the Benz. And we grilling on my toes, and we just riding through the waves, so deep in. Boy, you got me open. Cause get up, boy, you whiplash me, diving, it's like, oh shit. As long as you know this.
TAWK Radio, Worldwide Wednesdays.
You want a real one. Right underneath the shoes, you're the hill one. I just got me some new. Yeah, Balenciaga hoodie, you're the teal one. You already know what the deal was. Baby got them soft lips tryna feel some. I'll make your dreams come true. I know you're so lonely, just come on my side. We could talk or fuck, just let me make your mind. Big bags, baguettes, put me in some number 9. We could be so perfect, I promise that I'm worth it.
Feel like the real one. You just gotta take your time with a real one. I'm just hoping you can ride for a real one. I know you fall in love with a real one. You crying cause your heart heavy. Introduce you to the real, you was so ready. On the outside looking in, everything pretty. We rolling like a stolen Benz with no speed limit. I wanted to see you do better, now I see you winning. I bought you the Balenciaga sweater, love the way it's fitting. You got that type of blow to ceiling, it's very addictive. Young gun, I wanna hit a give you that sexual healing. Like an ocean when I'm in it. I stroke in slow motion when I hit it. Fucking on the back of knees, see the whole city. Own all the company, worth a couple million.
Only throw it back for the real one.
TAWK Radio.
Right underneath the shoes, you're the hill one. I just got me some new. Yeah, Balenciaga hoodie, you're the teal one. You already know what the deal was. Baby got them soft lips tryna feel some. I'll make your dreams come true.
SWK Radio Worldwide Wednesdays on Talk Radio with your host, Cypher Kai. Now, ooh, you guys, I love it when you guys give me information and I get to break news on the show. What? Ooh, my public chat room is turned up tonight with information. Anyway, let me make a correction. Sorry. Miss Wilson is tuned in with her personal trainer and they're not hanging out. They're doing business. Doing business. I was trying to get into you guys' business. I'm sorry. Okay. All right then. So here we go. I'm going to continue. Now, let me say a few things. There is some, if you guys want to give any feedback, 347-450-3958. Text me live so I can speak about what you're telling me. You guys are very, I love it when the men get involved. You guys are very turned up about this topic and what's going on with these AIDS with Cuomo, whatever. Look at King Cuomo is acting as though he's lording over the land. I'm just saying, right? So some people that said some interesting things. Let me read some of what everybody's saying. Okay. Live radio. Okay. So I got one of my VIPs here talking to me back and forth. And he's saying, I disagree. How are men supposed to flirt or show interest in a woman in 2021? Now look here. We're not talking about regular guys. We're talking about a governor of a state and the people that work under him, right? Nothing wrong with them flirting around with whoever. There's a couple of people. So here's the thing. I got grown children. So let's talk the things for a minute, right? And I feel like there's certain people that are off limits. The same reason why I chastised Jada for what she had done to her husband. Not because she stepped out. Married people shouldn't do that anyway. Not even because it was a younger person, because I saw the young man in some pictures online. He's hung like a donkey. My issue with what Jada did is because the young man came in broken, with mental health, emotional issues, and he was the friend of one of the children. There are certain types of people that are off limits, like baby mothers, first loves, ex-husbands or wives, and any friends of your children. These people are off limits. They should be. In your mind, they should be. Now, if you end up banging a neighbor's ex or something or whatever, that's different. But if you're in a clique of people, circle of people, right? Guys, you can't bang your homeboy's baby mother because that's a constant attachment. You can't do that. You shouldn't do that. Women, same thing. You can't bang your homegirl's baby father. You can't bang her ex-husband. You can't bang the first love. These people are long-lasting, imprinted in the brain. Shouldn't do those things. And if you've got grown kids, you don't mess around with their friends. When the friends come around and they're saying things like, oh, your mama's sexy, don't giggle with them. It's not funny. If you're working out in the gym, you don't look your age, you look snatched and all that, the little bastard should be saying to you, oh, wow, your mom is lovely. Because they should automatically know to raise their vibration and their vocabulary to speak to you. If they're saying things like your mom is sexy, that means you're out there tricking out in the house. You're walking around in Daisy Dukes or yoga pants or something you should not be wearing in front of your grown children's friends. Off limits. You can take a compliment and keep it pushing. So if the conversation is that Mr. Cuomo, single as he is, right, might be looking to date someone, that's fine. Even if they're 20-something, as long as they're over age, fine. But not the people who work under you. Is intimidating and foolish on his behalf. Because then you do things like this. You get your ass in trouble. They're wanting him to resign and all kinds of things. So for a date you never got, you could have taken out an actual younger lady for a couple $100, right? Limousine ride with your security detail, nice dinner, something to drink, maybe a hotel room and all of that. Maybe $1,000, $2,000 for the night. Instead, you're paying tens of thousands of dollars to now lawyers to defend you because your reputation is getting dragged for coochie you never actually got. Just damn stupid. Just damn stupid. I'm just saying, just damn stupid. Next thing was, I normally take women's sides in allegations, but there are some cases where a man is flirting with a woman, and because she does not like him, it is sexual, but if she likes him, it's flirting. I agree. And I can say I agree with that. And I've said that on the show before. There's a lot of women who will bawl, this and that because they were rejected, or maybe they wanted, they were promised a promotion or something. And I call it, the backsies, the backsies. And this happens with normal people as well. Spoken about it on the show, tear women down for the same thing. This is not a male bashing thing, right? This is from a standpoint of, you can't be, let's say, with a regular schmegler. So two regular people going out to date, and it's a pandemic. Things are tight. So you bag yourself an essential worker that you wouldn't normally look at. And so he takes you out and he tells you, okay, we're going to go out. We're going to flirt around a little bit. You know what I'm looking for, da, da, da. You're grown. You understand what he means. And he promises to pay a bill of some sort. He gets the cooch. Maybe he doesn't like it as much as he thought. Maybe he doesn't have the kind of money he thought. Whatever it is, he doesn't pay your bill. And now it went from you telling your friends, girl, I'm about to get at this nigga. He won't pay this bill, boop, boop. And he doesn't. And then all of a sudden, oh, he raped me. Oh, this and that. No, you can't do that. You can't have buyer's remorse. You can't do that. So I agree with you from that standpoint that yes, if she was feeling him, it would have been flirting. She probably would have took it wherever she took it. But nonetheless, the third girl is what I'm talking about. The third girl who made the accusation, I was supposed to look her name up just now. She looks mortified and disgusted just from his touch, just from the touch. So I'm saying, look, he should know better. He's been a 3-term governor. And here's the thing. Even if these women are being set in place by his counterparts, whoever's, because New York State, I'm sure a lot of you did not know who even live here, there are no gubernatorial term limits in New York State. Bet you guys didn't know that. He could have sat his ass there for as long as Putin plans on sitting in Russia for the next 16 years. There are no term limits on the governor's mansion in New York State. Bet you didn't know that. So he's been in there for 3 terms now, which is supposed to be finished in November of 2022. And I'm sure his counterparts want to usher him out. I'm not saying the ladies are lying. And like I said, that third girl, you can see she's disgusted. He has his hands on her inappropriately. She works for you, sir. You are at a wedding. What are your hands doing on her face? Why? Why? Why are you touching her? Why? No bleeping reason whatsoever. No bleeping reason whatsoever. Now, me personally, I'm feisty. I'd cursed him out. She's sitting there looking like she doesn't know what to do. Like, oh my God, if I respond to him, she's 20-something, he's a governor, da-da-da. Yeah, I'd have cussed him out, personally. And let me just go on record as saying this. Anybody who wants to intern at Talk Radio, if you want to do the technical piece that Rex was doing, whatever we're doing when we open up the job thing, I'm going to tell you now, I say inappropriate things all the time. All the time. There is no trying to, manipulate a situation or sue me. I'm telling you guys outright. Listen to my archives before you even apply for the job. What I don't do is I don't shit where I sleep. So I'm not propositioning any of you. My talkers will not believe it. My sponsors will not believe it. Don't bother. Don't bother. I've sat on this thing for 18 years and counting. And so I'm not chasing anybody's boy picnic. Please. Not necessary. So that's never going to be a thing. But I do speak inappropriately. Like I heard one of the girls was saying, I think Cuomo asked her to play strip poker or some shit. I don't play strip poker. But, and some questions about asking another girl, is she monogamous and things like that. I would ask my staff that. But again, if you're coming to work on an adult talk show, know that I'm going to ask these questions. You can very easily say, I don't want to answer. I'm not going to press you. But I'm going to ask you your coochie business, your cock business. Of course I am. It's an adult talk show. So let's say that out the rip. So as I'm saying this today on March 3rd, 2021, make it known that anyone who applies for a job with me after this day, know what you're walking into and don't waste time. If you're coming here with ill intentions to try to sue me, you're going to get nothing. Nothing. Because I'm telling you now, my mouth has no training whatsoever. None. Just none. None. But I'll ask you something one time and get shut down one time and it won't come up again. Not an issue. For asking your coochie business and you don't want to answer, very simple. Hey, what's your body count? I don't answer that. Okay, cool. But if it makes you uncomfortable, you should listen to my archives before you apply for the job. Just simply saying. And Bob's your uncle. All right. Now, here's the breaking news that I learned, you guys. In my public chat room, I got some genius in there that's telling me, and I'm not being, not being facetious. The person is telling me that working during the pandemic, it was, let me make sure I read it. I want to butcher it. Hold on. Don't want to butcher this. Where is it? Okay. Hospitals and doctors get paid extra money to document that a patient died from COVID. I knew that. I knew that. I freaking knew that. And I'm telling you, I can prove that. That has happened more than once. I'm telling you, 3 different people in New York City died during COVID. And were given a COVID diagnosis that I know for a fact did not die from COVID. And further than that, I've told the story on the show before, that the COVID papers were kept by the funeral home. And so when they handed the death certificate over, it was blank. and the funeral home had the COVID papers for themselves, because I'm sure they're going to be compensated. Because think about it, right? Again, sickness is a business. The only business on the face of the earth that is consistent, no matter what the economy looks like, no matter what's going on, is death. The only one. Let's talk like we're grown for a second. That does not stop. It doesn't stop. Now, you can have babies. They don't have to be born in a hospital, but you got to get rid of the body through a funeral. However, there's certain things you got to do about that. Death is a business. And so if I know I've banked my business for the past 20, 30, 50 years on making an average on a low end of $15,000 per body, and all of a sudden you're telling me people can't congregate, they can't cry, they can't mourn, and they have to be cremated for 10% of the cost of what I'm accustomed to making, someone has to make me whole, because this is a recession-proof business. And so what they were doing was holding those COVID papers for themselves, not wanting to give them to the parents. I had to argue and cuss out a funeral director on behalf of one of my friends to get said COVID papers. So I'm telling you, I know from actual dive-in experience what they were doing in New York. And it gotten so bad that people wanted to mourn and people not being handled properly and all that. They had to have armed security guards in funeral homes. You imagine? Anyway, so I want to know if it's still going on. Mr. GP, is that still happening now is what I'd like to know. Are they still doing that now? Is that something that was happening during the height of the... Oh, you want to get hired at Talk Radio? Listen, we're naughty around here. We're grown around here, honey. Oh, correct. Okay, so you guys are very talkative about this topic. I love when the men get involved, right? I love when the men get involved. So, the guys are saying the women are vultures. And sometimes women start flirting and need to examine their motives. I agree. But like I said, right, this is not regular schmegglers. This is a seasoned politician. He's actually also a lawyer, and he's supposed to know certain temptations you have to avoid. There's enough young girls out here that will absolutely bang an old guy. He's not that bad looking. You throw a little wrinkle cream on his face, fuck him in the dark, fine, I'm sure. I'm saying he's Italian. He might be hung like a black guy. Who knows? But I'm saying there are certain people that's supposed to be off limits when you know better. And this is clearly people that didn't want the advances. These are not girls that are saying, okay, whatever. They didn't want the advances. However it started or whatever, they might have started out and regularly, you know what? This is probably not a good idea. But whatever it was, that third girl did not want him to touch her. She looks... Guys, go Google the picture. Look at the... I'm going to find her name. Let me play some music and come back. And we're going to talk about this a little more. Let's start the new news, you guys. See, I was going to do like an hour and a half. You might get me for 2 hours tonight, you guys. Ooh. All right, so let's go. Let's do... this one was a new a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to play this one now because one of the new news this evening is the remix to this particular song. So let's do it. No More Parties by Coi Leray here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Yeah, they want to eat off my plate. They want to eat off me. When I had my vision, you couldn't see it. I'm off the better things. I'm only doing it's gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. And that, it's so They ask how I get that, I'm too busy getting this money, getting this cheddar. My daddy let me down, but I promise you I won't let her. I won't say that man, but won't make me better. Me, my brush still be for now, cause he ain't get that letter. Numb to the pain. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, everybody, I can't trust nobody. I need me chat party. Don't invite me to no party. Pull up in that, it's so They ask how I get that, I'm a hustler, baby. Yeah. You must not know me, baby. I'm off the better things. I'm only doing it's gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. In that, it's so They ask how I get that, Can't worry about nobody, gotta worry about my business. Don't bring them around me, I don't know their intentions. Don't wanna fall in love, these little trippin'. I'll stay out the way, gotta make sure I keep my distance. Why they wanna hate me? Crazy. She mad I took her, that's I'ma bust it, baby. Yeah, you must not know me, baby.
TAWK Radio.
I'm only doing it's gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. In that it's so they ask how I get that pull up in that it's so they ask how I get that
TAWK Radio with your hostess Africa on the ones and twos. So someone's telling me that there are there are many faithful young women dealing with older men not for money. Some don't have time to deal with young men and their growing pains. Interesting. I'm sure there are some people dealing with older men. So are we talking about from a age range of like what, maybe 20 something and 40? Because we're talking about like a 40-year age gap. And if you believe, and let's start some arguments, why not? Let's open up the conversation, right? If you truly believe that someone 20 something years old is not dating someone 40 years her senior for, let's say, guidance, daddy issues, and money, I'd say you're disillusioned, my friend. Because there's no way you're getting, okay, example, I can't imagine a 25-year-old girl, let's say, working at McDonald's, is trolling the nursing homes or getting with guys in their 60s who are on, disability. What's she doing with him? Helping him change his diapers? Popping his Viagra for him? What's she doing? Hoping he's sound of mind enough to give her stories about how things used to be. What are they actively doing together if it's not for the money and the security that comes with it? Security of knowing, oh, he's intellectual, maybe he can teach you some things, he's lived some life. Hoping in her mind, okay, he's too old to still want to run around, but as long as you're sound of mind and you can pop those pills, those guys are not faithful either. So let's say she is, but he's not. Because he's taking her out around his friends, showing up, oh, I got this one. But they normally have more than one. For almost the entirety of the pandemic, all King Cuomo kept talking about is how single he was, single and ready to mingle, on TV joking with the brother on CNN and all kinds of things, petitioning during these briefings in the morning. He wasn't going to just keep one. Come on. And then you said there's also co-workers in the NYPD, MTA, Con Ed, etc. sleep with each other all the time and no one says they shouldn't. Well, look at co-workers can fuck around. They're on the same level. What I'm simply saying is on a governor's level, on a presidential level, senators and those things, you're supposed to know better. You're just supposed to know better. What's going to come from it? It's not even like we're saying the people are underage. We're just saying it's unwanted. And so why bring that kind of attention to you over coochie you didn't even get in the middle of what's still a pandemic in your city, in the middle of what's a disastrous financial crisis in your city, in your state? So let's talk the things, the business of sickness, right? There is currently $1.3 billion that was sent to New York State had to be 3 weeks ago now. That was supposed to be for rental assistance because of the pandemic. None of it's been given out yet. They haven't figured out how to allocate it. Yes, anybody listening who needs some rental assistance, start going to call 311, Canberra, those places, get some information, right? But there's money sitting there because Mr. Man is too busy chasing coochie and lying about dead old people. He can't allocate money that he knew was coming. It didn't pop out, oh my God, New York, you're so awesome. Let me give you $1.3 billion. He knew it was coming. Why is it not going out? And while we're on the subject, let's do some talk radio math, right? So in New York City, I'll give you guys some quick stats. In New York City itself, there are 8.3 million people living in New York City itself. It's been said that, I don't know if it's just for the city, 1.1 million people are behind in rent right now. Now, the average studio in New York, I know a lot of you are going to be appalled right now. The average studio space in New York is about $1,500 a month, right? So if you've not paid your rent since the pandemic started until now, almost a year, you're behind in rent about $18,000. Don't believe my numbers. Get your calculators on your phone to do some math, right? So Let's assume that some of these people are very responsible. They're not that far back on the rent. They only owe a couple months or whatever. That's still like $4,500 roughly if your rent is $1,500. And I can assure you, most people's rent is not $1,500. It's more than that, right? So with $1 billion, if every one of the million people that's behind on their rent, they all got some money from this $1 billion, they could only get $1,000 a piece to make $1 billion. $1,000 times a million is $1 billion. $1,000 is not going to put a dent on anybody's back rent in New York. So how do you decide who's going to get it? Is it the girls who had the vouchers, whose vouchers were still paying, and maybe they didn't pay their portion on purpose because they were too busy buying lace fronts and lashes to be on Instagram and OnlyFans? I'm going to start some arguments right now. Yes, I am. Do we give it to who should get it, like the essential workers in New York that already have a $15 minimum wage, who even if they work 40 hours a week and or overtime, because everything was working overtime for the fast food joints and all that stuff, and still don't bring home enough money to cover themselves? Let's do some quick math again. If you take out a payroll calculator on your phone or something, right? If you make $15 an hour, work 40 hours a week, you make $600 a week before taxes. New York, we get hit for New York state tax, city tax, and local tax. So maybe these workers are bringing home $450 a week if they're lucky. If they're lucky. That's $1,800 a month for actively working full time. Not sitting home, not collecting unemployment, working because they want to work, they want to stay active. God forbid if they have a child, can't afford to do anything. MetroCard's expensive as shit. Right? So they don't have enough money even to pay that $1,500 rent. So what is that $1,000 going to give you if you equally disperse it? And if you don't equally disperse it, what criteria have you set in place, or are you going to set in place to allocate this money that's now been sitting for almost a month, now an extra month of bills piling up on your neck? And now you can't focus on that right now either because you're fighting off dumb dick things that you were trying to do, nursing home scandals while your city is burning. You selfish bastard. Also during the pandemic, he had what, a $10,000 per plate Zoom fundraiser for himself. He got some kind of awards or something, a Emmy or some shit during the pandemic while your city is suffering and burning, sir. Seems like very kingly behavior to me. The subjects beneath him can suffer while he's elevating himself. Just saying. Just saying. So anyway, let me continue with another song, and then we're going to come back and start. I'm going to play these audio clips for you guys. No. I'm going to read some articles first and then play the audio clips. That's where the fun comes. Let's really talk about the business of sickness here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio. So one of the new news today is going to be No More Parties, which is the remix of the song that I just played here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Yeah, they want to eat off my plate. They want to eat off me. When I had my vision, you couldn't see it. I'm off to better things. I'm only doing it's gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. And that it's so They ask how I get that I'm too busy getting this money, getting this cheddar. My daddy let me down, but I promise you I won't let her. I want to say, man, won't make me better. Me, my boy still beef right now, cause he ain't get that letter. Numb to the pain. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, everybody, I can't trust nobody. I need me chat party, don't invite me to no party. Pull up in that, it's so They ask how I get that, I'm a hustler, baby. You must not know me, baby. I'm off to better things. I'm only doing gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. And that, it's so They ask how I get that,
You been cutting me out. You been stuck in the cloud. I gave you money through the pandemic.
TAWK Radio.
Down challenge again on the ground, mama. In your mouth, do it. Don't stop. Keep going, keep f***ing it out. I'm different when it comes to trust, I never leave my bros. Voice of the streets, plus me and India, relationship goals. I love niggas I had love for, they mean me well. They praising niggas told on bro like they ain't see him tell. But me,
I'm off the better things. I'm only doing it's gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. And that it's so They ask how I get that club in that it's so They ask how I get that Keep worried about nobody, gotta worry about my business. Don't bring them around me, I don't know their intentions. Don't wanna fall in love, dealing, tripping. While I stay out the way, gotta make sure I keep my distance. Why they wanna hate me? Crazy. She mad I took her. That's my boss, baby. Yeah, you must not know me, baby. I'm off the better things. I'm only doing it's gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. They ask how I get that They ask how I get that I'm off the better things. I'm only doing gonna make me elevate. Only one people around that's gonna make me better. And that it's so They ask how I get that
TAWK Radio with your host Cypher Kai here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio. We're discussing the business of sickness here on Talk Radio tonight. www.tawkradio.com/shows. Now let's see which one of these articles I want to read first. All right, let's do the simple ones. Lord, they have no shame. This is what we've been talking about. Like, this stuff is going on, and it's not even conspiracy theory type stuff. It is stuff that's happening that they're just not even trying to hide anymore. It's like right in your face. It's like, yeah, look what we're doing. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do? What are you really going to do? Complain to who? Complain to who? All right. So all our recent progress with this is on CNN.com. This is written by Holly Yan and Christina Maxoris on March 2nd, 2021. All our recent progress with COVID-19 could be wiped out by variants. CDC director says, please stay strong. Let's give a skim of this article. The U.S. is at risk of losing all its recent gains in the battle against COVID-19 as highly contagious variants take advantage of Americans getting lax with safety measures. Please hear me clearly. At this level of cases with variants spreading, we stand to completely lose the hard-earned ground we have gained, said Dr. Rochelle Walensky, director of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. After weeks of tumbling case numbers, new infections are on the rise again, about 2% more than past week compared to previous week, Walensky said Monday. Jesus, live radio. Now, I'm going to leave that there and skim that. So here's the thing. And this is what I told you guys before. You're yelling at me, I had the millennials in my neck. Oh, it's people like you, Cypher, who make things bad for us and this and that. And all I was saying to you guys is, listen, I am not knocking anyone who has lost somebody during COVID. Friend, family member, co-worker. I'm not knocking you if you believe the science of it. If you unfortunately believe the narrative that if you inject yourself with this experimental poison that everything will go back to normal. And yes, they played the game nicely, didn't they? So they opened everything back up. In New York City, everything's open to 35% capacity. The movie theaters open up to a certain capacity starting March 5th and all this other stuff. Right? Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounded really good when they put it out. Oh, look, you guys took the injections and just like we said, we're going to open it back up. But what did Cypher say about that months ago? That's the boo-boo switch, isn't it? The boo-boo switch. So they're going to open things back up, but as they're doing it, before the time actually happens, before March 5th, I've been speaking about this months ago, and now on March 2nd, they're already saying, oops, by the way, if you got your arm full of garbage, might be absolutely useless to you because it's not going to stop you from getting COVID. It won't stop you from spreading COVID. And if you got a new variant, it's completely useless altogether. But yes, go out amongst people for like a week until we want to distract you from something else. And then we tell you, you got to take your ass back inside because King Cuomo decides, oh, no, no, no. You know, and the only reason why he opened up over here, I'm sure, is because he knew these two things were breathing down his neck. And then we hear things like, you got the 2 shots in your arm now, getting warm outside, things are opening, but now you got to put 2 masks on your face in the springtime. Do you guys not see something wrong with this? When it's cold outside, winter outside, nothing. But the vitamin D that's naturally good for your skin, the clean air that's normally good for your skin, when the leaves come back on the trees and that's healthy for you, I need you to go outside with this garbage in your system that we don't know how it's going to affect you and suffocate your fucking self. Come on, man. I'm not making this stuff up. You can Google this. So let's continue. The business of sickness here on the Worldwide Wednesdays. Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio. I am going to play another new, and then I'm going to come back and we'll continue this discussion with another news article, and then I'm going to play the audio clips for you guys to listen for yourself. Listen for yourself about some things we're going to discuss this evening and how disgusting this is getting. And it's only the tip of the iceberg, and I warned you guys about this months ago. And I need you to take this seriously. Pay attention to what we're going to discuss, what you're going to hear, the commentary afterwards. Reach out, say something, speak your piece, but also prepare yourself for what's coming and what you're going to do based on what's going on. It's not being hidden. The information is here for you, and I'm here to give it to you. So this is the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio. What I'm going to play here now in the new section is AP. This is from Pop Smoke. Rest in peace, sir. Here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Rico's going crazy.
They turn up an iPhone. Look, AP, spicy. I bust a check in my Nike. Am I a killer? Might be. Two-tone, icy. AP, spicy. I bust a check in my Nike. Am I a killer? Might be. Two-tone, icy. Talk to me nice, or don't talk at all, huh? I make a corner sport. I'm off that I had a roll. Talk to me nice, or don't talk at all, huh? I make a corner sport. I'm off that I had a roll. Yeah, the spring, it's cause I hate them. Cause I ain't playing with them. I don't really wanna hit them. I don't got nothing to say. I'm with Bear, eating steak dinner. Just know he got a K with her. And my little mama got it in her purse. All I gotta say is bang, get it. If I run down, it's a drum round. All you gonna hear is gun sound. Just know I bring them guns out. I make it hot when it's sundown. Fever. Shorty want like a diva. Shorty want suck on my Nina. I leave that shit with Aquafina. AP, spicy. I bust a check in my Nike.
TAWK Radio.
Icy, AP, spicy. I bust a check in my Nike. Am I a killer? Might be. Two-tone, icy. Talk to me nice, or don't talk at all, huh? I make a corner swore. I'm off that I had a roll. Talk to me nice, or don't talk at all, huh? I make a corner swore. I'm off that I had a roll. Look, I got 52 shots in this Glock and an infrared up on the op if you let off. Trey Suvi on the top, yellow tape when it pop, knock his head off. Load up the chop and go dumb. See me and they run. Silencer up on the gun. Guess I shoot you for none. Trey Suvi, boy playing with the toolie. I bet he make a movie. Woo. Pop dripped up in Louis. Couple hundred and some jewelry. Spent 55 on her booty. Touch her everything to be shooting. AP, spicy. I bust a check in my Nike. Am I a killer? Might be. Two-tone, icy. AP, spicy. I bust a check in my Nike. Am I a killer? Might be. Two-tone, icy. Talk to me nice, or don't talk at all, huh? I make a corner swore. I'm off that I had a roll. Talk to me nice, or don't talk at all, huh? I make a corner swore. I'm off that I had a roll.
CAWK Radio with your host, Cypher Kai, on the ones and twos in the studio, holding it down, right? So if you guys want to have, let me give a shout out to another one of the broadcasters that's listening to the show right now. He didn't tell me the name of his show. Oh no. But they're having, let me see if I can find it. Him and Her Talk Space with Nene and Chad. Right, Him and Her, I see it now. Thank you. Him and Her Talk Space with Nene and Chad. So I can't read all there's on a Zoom, right? It's like a whole bunch of stuff, but he gave me like a number you guys can call, right? So the phone number, get your papers and pens. They're going to have a conversation tonight about reparations. They have very, very scholarly conversations on this platform. I don't know that I'll be able to tune in tonight, but I know I plan on having my own reparations conversation on the show, and a lot more other substantive things we're going to talk about when we revamp the show going forward. My tongue tonight. But the phone number to get on this call this evening is 929-205-6099. The meeting ID is 8268140594, and the password is 7066125194 hashtag. Do they have to put the hashtag there? I don't know how this stuff works, you guys. I swear I'm like a dinosaur with this stuff. But the name of the show is Him and Her Talk Space with Nene and Chad. Are you guys also on social media? Can they see like on our Facebook Live or something? Give me some information. All right, so let's continue our conversation tonight here on this show, on this platform on Talk Radio, about the business of sickness. So let me find this next article, then we're going to play these audio clips and have some discussions this evening here on the show. Now, I know a lot of you guys who are here living in the United States are going to be very offended by this article. I was tripped out by it. I spoke about it a little on the show before, not from this aspect, but let's discuss it here. This one came from thesun.com. Written by Henry Holloway on March 3rd, 2021. Oh, was that today? Okay. Yeah, that was today. Okay, recipe for disaster. China got $27 million in U.S. taxpayer cash for experiments including human fear tests as pressure mounts over the Wuhan lab. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. The United States said 20, and I'm sure it's more than that. I'm sure the number is higher than that. 27 million of our tax dollars went to our frenemy to do medical experiments. Do we not have enough brilliant people over here? And most of our nurses in the hospitals in New York are Haitian or African or something. All these beautiful big brain people. We couldn't send money to one of these places to do some experimenting. We don't build anything here anymore, not even labs and stuff. And we're giving our frenemy. And I got a lot of Asian friends. I love to all of you. But I'm simply saying, from a political standpoint, China and the US are like frenemies, aren't they? And you're giving them our tax money. $27 million could have been spent so much wiser in the US to do other things besides this. So let me read you guys a little bit. Let me learn you a few things. Okay, so China has received more than $27 million worth of U.S. taxpayer money for scientific experiments and studies over the last 10 years. The U.S. Sun can reveal the staggering sum of at least $27,243,543 has been sent directly to institutions, labs, and universities in the Communist Party state since 2010. Our investigation revealed that the astonishing amount of money has been sent overseas by the National Institutes for Health, the U.S. taxpayer-funded government agency responsible for health research. So our tax-funded agency here in the U.S., we couldn't get any brilliant minds here to do this. We had to send the money overseas. Now, is that because China's population is so big that they got kind of people to waste? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. There's 1 billion people there. Almost 3 times the amount of people here. Is that what it is? Is that what you're going to claim that it is? And from its yearly budgets of up to $40 billion that we give to this particular agency, a slice was sent across to China for various different experiments and research projects. It comes as the agency already came under fire last year after it was revealed to have released funds which were funneled to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which is allegedly where COVID started from, So did the US did the US help to fund the lab that caused the pandemic? And when I said this shit months ago, but the black chick was saying it, but the podcaster was saying it, but what the hell does she know saying it? And then look at this, months later, look how this all comes out. Interesting, isn't it? I tell you guys, you are divinely connected to this platform for a reason. There is something here that you need, that you'll learn, that will help you, that you can share. I'm just saying. So I think that's as much of that as I'm going to read. But let me see what some of the experiments they were doing were for. They did an experiment on human fear, which involved showing people scary images in a study by Peking University. They did a study on depression in Chinese care home residents, so they're seniors in the senior citizens' homes. They did something on animal testing that also received funding at Peking University. And there was one more. Hold on. Here's the best one. They handed out cash, our taxpayer money, handed out cash that included $88,686 and $93,316 to investigate drug use among female prostitutes in China. So, what is this? Almost 200 grand to study and investigate drug use, right? Not drugs they're giving them to heal, let's say, STDs or something, but to study. Look at how much drugs I guess they're taking from the stress they're under from selling pussy for a living. Let's just understand what's happening here. $200,000. To study prostitutes, drug use in China. What relevance is that to us here in the US? I'll wait. Sounds like someone trying to find a way to give someone backdoor money for something. So what it smells like to me. And all of my politicos listening to the show, I'm giving you guys homework. I'm sure a lot of this stuff hasn't passed your desk or passed your nose, the amount of things going on. But I would love to know, why is it our tax money was used to find out how much drugs a Chinese prostitute is using? Why was $200,000 used for that? I need to know that. Inquiring minds want to know. I need to know. I'm just saying, I just need to know. All right. So those are the two articles. I'm going to play one more song and come back. I'm going to start playing these audio clips for you guys to hear. And let's have some grown-up discussions about this stuff. The next new for the evening, I think it's the last new for the evening. Not the last song, just the last new for the evening. This one's called My Way by Aria, featuring YFN Lucci here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Up the hookah, the way that you're looking right now, I just might have to do something to ya. No, this ain't what you used to. Light it up with me, babe. We can just drift away. Let me be your escape. Tonight we switch it up and do it my way. Cause I'm about to do something to blow your mind away. Focus on me, can't do that.
TAWK Radio Worldwide Wednesdays.
Let's take it slow. Tonight we do it my way. Feels so good to me. So can we please do it my way? Tonight we do it my way. Tonight we do it my way. Feels so good to me. So can we please do it my way? Tonight we do it my way.
Look, she wanna, can't provide. I'm never leaving her side. She wanna always have it her way. Why can I never have mine? She say I'll never have time, but girl, you stay on my mind. Yeah, I ain't tryna be through with you. I'm tryna make you my bride. Yeah, back and forth. I'm tryna give you the best, you know. I will put here to protect your heart. I'm tryna put you in fancy cars. You better know it get deeper than this. Showing you all of my people and showing you all like a visa and I'm really legit, I'm pure as it gets. She wanna have it her way.
My way.
She wanna have it her way.
My
yeah, she wanna have it her way. way. And I ain't talked to her in like 4 days. But what we gonna do about
TAWK Radio with Cypher Kai.
I'ma let the girl have her way.
Tonight we do it my way. Feels so good to me. So can we please do it my way? Tonight we do it my way. Tonight we do it my way. Feels so good to me. So can we please do it my way? Tonight we do it my way. Tonight we do it my way. Feels so good to me. So can we please do it my way? Tonight we do it my way.
TAWK Radio with your host Cypher Kai on the ones and twos. So let's continue talking about tonight the business of sickness part 1, because I know I'm going to continue this conversation. There's so many different angles, so many different people, organizations, businesses that made, oh my God, astronomical amounts of money, not only during the pandemic, but even before. This is not something new. In the United States, there's so much money spent on medical and medicine and things that we don't do in other developed countries. It's just unbelievable. But anyway, so the first thing I'm going to play for you guys is an audio clip that was sent to me by lots of people. And I said, you know what? It's enough for me to have to bring this up on the show and let's discuss this. There's 2 women in London that are talking about some things that are being put in place over in the UK, right? And so I'm going to play this audio clip for you guys to hear what they're saying, and then we'll have a conversation on the other side of this. So this is www.tawkradio.com/shows, right? And tonight we're talking about the business of sickness part 1, and we're going to get into these audio clips right now. I want you guys to hear this stuff for yourself, and I'll come back on the other side and discuss this. Yes?
Just quickly, family, wanted to do this quick video, okay, on behalf of the Stop the Silence campaign. Today, Monday, the 15th of February 2021, where new legislation has been put in place in England, UK, whereby the 33 red list countries, anyone coming in from those countries have to quarantine for 10 days and they have to pay £1,750 at a designated hotel in the UK, only a government designated one. But the sad thing is the list of countries, the 33 countries on the hot list. So what, Sister Girl?
Angola, Argentina, Bolivia, Botswana, Brazil, Burundi, Cape Verde, Chile, Colombia, Democratic Republic of Congo, Ecuador, Eswatini, French Guiana, Guyana, Lesotho, Malawi, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, Panama. Are you getting to see a pattern going on here, yeah? Paraguay, Peru, Portugal, Rwanda, Seychelles, South Africa, Suriname, Tanzania, United Arab Emirates, Uruguay, Venezuela, Zambia, and Zimbabwe.
All the countries that you can see has got very low rates of COVID, and predominantly African black countries. Yeah, whether it's people of African heritage countries, that's the main thing. Definitely. And you get tested when you go into these hotels on the 3rd day, I think. No, the 4th or the 7th day, something like that, or the 8th day. I can't remember. Yeah. And if you test positive, you have to stay for another 7 to 10 days and give them more money. Exactly. But worse still, people came in today at Heathrow Airport and they said there's 2 different queues. We've had people contact us to tell the Stop the Silence campaign how it went. And they said that they've come in and of their flight, and when you've come from one of those 33 countries,
they've got them sectioned off too.
They section them off. They put them in a queue, section them off in what is known as a pen. Now you check it out. A pen is an enclosure
for animals.
For animals, livestock, any livestock, because they used to have us in pens on the slave trade.
You just have to be watching the words that they use.
Yeah, the pens. They put them in go to the pen designated area, and they use that for us as well during the slave trade. And also, when you come out the pens and they escort you off, okay, and then make it worse, they just said that they're going to have government's security guards on the corridors of the hotel, so you can't leave your room, go in, out, not even walk the corridor.
Basically, you're not in a lockdown, you're not quarantined, you're imprisoned. Let's get it right. You're being imprisoned, okay? And to top it off, you're paying for the fact that you're being imprisoned.
With the you got the overseers watching you. So it's nothing but slavery going on over and over again.
Exactly, and you're paying for the privilege of it. Really?
Exactly. If we don't stand up for something, then we stand for nothing.
I can't see one. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. One European country on there. And their rates of COVID are higher than the African countries.
Why isn't England, for starters, on the 33 list of countries?
Exactly.
Come on, people, wake up.
If you don't realise what's happening, you never will. Come on.
End of.
Okay, so you can hear what the ladies were talking about there. And I have a further continuation for this. So this is what they were hearing. This is what they were observing on their own. What I'm going to do... My God. It was pretty self-explanatory though, wasn't it? Now, the 33 countries that they mentioned, like they said, had low COVID rates. And they were predominantly black countries. Now, the funny thing is, there's a lot of these countries are known in other circles for the affluent and the Caucasian people from the UK going to these countries to have their little sex excursions, their sex trips, right? So I guess as if you go to mingle with the niggers, you got to come back and pay a nigger tax. I said it. Look, we're going to start some arguments here. I'm going to start some arguments. There's so many people that leave the UK to go to other countries for to go and still pillage, even in this day and time, to go get their commodities, their gold, their diamonds and things. I noticed that none of those countries that are prevalent for doing those things were on that list. I didn't hear Ghana on that list, Sierra Leone on that list. None of the places where the affluent white people go and pillage during modern times in the 21st century. I didn't hear those on the list. But I heard the countries where they normally leave to go and have their sex excursions on the list. So you're going to go and mix and mingle with the brownies and the darkies. You got to pay extra when you come back. I'm starting some arguments right now. My opinion. Like I said, I do other business besides doing the broadcast for the show. So there's things that I know. And I'm telling you, there are more people leaving the UK, going to Africa and, these places to get, like I said, their oil, their diamonds, their gold. And none of those countries are on this because God forbid, they treat the the plantation owners like animals when they come back. But if you went to roll with them or any black people that are coming in from those countries trying to get something better, trying to do something better for yourself, no, we can't have that, right? The business of sickness. Did you hear what they said? They said you have to go to designated hotels and this and that. We're going to follow up on that part because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some music. And when I come back, I'm going to let you hear one of the politicians over there give his speech and justification for the treatment they plan on rolling out going forward in the UK. I want you guys to stay tuned for that. What I'm going to play right now, this one's called Nutshell Part 2. Fife Dog, Busta Rhymes and Redman here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Yo, Fife, you doing a remix or what?
Yeah. Hey, yo, Bust, let me get the backboard, nigga. Yo, Fife Dog is in the building. Redman is in the building. Busta Rhymes in the building. Remix. Peep the rebirth of the reborn as I rebuild, reconnect with this rebel, redefining raw skill. I realign, readjusted, refocus, reanalyze what's real versus bullshit. Had to refuel, reactivate to reemerge, reevaluate, recalculate. Bitch, I return, redefine, reenergize, get reacquainted. Rhythmkins Incorporated, roots we made it, invulnerable.
TAWK Radio with Cypher Kai,
which leads most inviolable. Get involved, invest in these youths, kid, invigorate, induce that old realness. Insecure? Nah, more like inhumane. It's not a game. Shut your mouth. Use your inner voice. Stay in your lane. Inaugurate those with incentive to want to innovate. Insisting that those who inspire, we will initiate. What? And that's just me in a nutshell. Nutshell. Ha! Fife Dog in a nutshell. New York's finest in a nutshell.
Look.
Unpredictable, I'm so unfuckwittable, unfathomable. The love I get unconditional, unequivocal, undestructible, unthinkable.
TAWK Radio.
Unforgettable, unbuckle belts, unclothed bitches and Raris. Unclean vagina, please go clean your panani. Unhospitable, thus one sick individual. Untraceable DNA, nigga, flow unforgivable. And that's just me in a nutshell. I unallow those unwelcome, you're unapparent. It's undisputed, I got you stuck like under a magnet, under a cabinet. Unofficially, though, I had to get her number. Write it up under the logo with a laminate. The unbeaten, undertaker, undercutting niggas. Unexplainable ass beatings, underhanded niggas. Undenounced, bury you under the mansion. I undespicably hope that we have an understanding. And that's just me in a nutshell. Nutshell, nutshell, nutshell.
Then, bust in a nutshell. Here's Reggie. Yo, I keep moving, I keep bud, I keep fire. I keep an attitude for niggas to keep trying. I keep it Deuces, Bigelow, the Rob Schneider. I keep it flowing till my hands getting arthritis. I keep bars, I keep money, I keep cooking. I keep a car for Sade to keep looking. I keep it jurors, I'm killing them. I keep going, I put you on a t-shirt, nigga, keep calm. I keep women, I'm like Nas, I keep ether. Fife and bust, that's my brother.
TAWK Radio.
Slay the street sweeper, same seamer. Give me them keys to your Beamer. Keep your friends closer, enemies closer. It's rappers like me that'll piss off Oprah. Keep focused, I keep blunts for cheap thrills. Me and Lizzie Lohan, that's a nutshell. Ha, Red Man in a nutshell. Nutshell, nutshell, nutshell.
And that's just me in a nutshell. Nutshell, nutshell, nutshell.
Ha, Fife Dog in a nutshell. New York finest in a nutshell. Yeah.
Yes, the Red Man, that's what they call me. What's the rhyme now?
Fife Dog. 5 foot invasion, son. Live on direct. Dilla. By way of Detroit, Michigan. Oh, yo, man. And that's just the way the story goes. Gilla House. Via Brick City, Jersey. You know what I mean? A conglomerate. Via Brooklyn. You don't know. Rhythm Kids. Via Queens, T-Dot. Let me hear it back.
TAWK Radio with your hostess Cypher Kai on the ones and twos. Shout out again to Anthony the Lyft driver, tuned in while you're working and or cleaning your car, sir. Appreciate you. Tonight we're talking about the business of sickness here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio. www.tawkradio.com/shows with your hostess Cypher Kai. Okay, you guys say I don't say that enough, so all of the new talkers will know who it is that you're listening to right now with my very opinionated self. All right, so we're continuing the conversation from what the ladies in the UK were saying. There's a campaign of no silence of the things that's happening during the pandemic that they have going on over there. One of the things they're doing is when people come in from particular countries into the UK, they're ushering them off into pens and certain designated hotels and things like that. So I'm going to let you guys listen to an audio clip of an elected official over there explaining to a judge what they are implementing to make the UK safer, allegedly. I want you guys to hear what he's saying, and then afterwards we're going to discuss me and my big mouth here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Mr. Speaker, let me set out the 3 elements of the strengthened end-to-end system for international arrivals coming into force on 15th of February. This new system is for England, and we're working on similarly tough schemes with the devolved administrations and working with the Irish government to put in place a system that works across the common travel area. The 3 parts are as follows: hotel quarantine, testing and enforcement. First, Mr. Speaker, we're setting up a new system of hotel quarantine for UK and Irish residents who've been in red list countries in the last 10 days. In short, this means that any returning residents from these countries will have to quarantine in an assigned hotel room for 10 days from the time of arrival. Before they travel, they'll have to book through an online platform and pay for a quarantine package costing £1,750 for an individual travelling alone, which includes the hotel, transport and testing. This booking system will go live on Thursday, when we'll also publish the full detailed guidance. Passengers will only be able to enter the UK through a small number of ports that currently account for the vast majority of passenger arrivals. When they arrive, they'll be escorted to a designated hotel, which will be closed to guests who aren't quarantining, for 10 days, or for longer if they test positive for COVID-19 during their stay. We've contracted 16 hotels for an initial 4,600 rooms, and we will secure more as they are needed. People will need to remain in their rooms and, of course, will not be allowed to mix with other guests, and there will be visible security in place to ensure compliance alongside necessary support, so even as we protect public health, we can look after the people in our care. Second, Mr. Speaker, we're strengthening testing. All passengers are already required to take a pre-departure test and cannot travel to this country if it is positive. From Monday, all international arrivals, whether under home quarantine or hotel quarantine, will be required by law to take further PCR tests on day 2 and day 8 of that quarantine. Passengers will have to book these tests through our online portal before they travel. Anyone planning to travel to the UK from Monday needs to book these tests, and the online portal will go live on Thursday. If either of these post-arrival tests comes back positive, they'll have to quarantine for a further 10 days from the date of the test and will, of course, be offered any NHS treatment that's necessary. Any positive result will automatically undergo genomic sequencing to confirm whether they have a variant of concern. Under home quarantining, the existing test-to-release scheme, which my right honourable friend, the Transport Secretary, has built so effectively, can still be used from day 5, but this will be in addition to the 2 mandatory tests. The combination of enhanced testing and sequencing has been a powerful weapon through this pandemic, and we'll be bringing it to bear so we can find positive cases, break the chains of transmission, and prevent new cases and new variants from putting us at risk. Third, Mr. Speaker, we'll be backing this new system with strong enforcement of both home quarantine and hotel quarantine. People who flout these rules are putting us all at risk. Passenger carriers will have a duty in law to make sure that passengers have signed up for these new arrangements before they travel and will be fined if they don't. And we'll be putting in place tough fines for people who don't comply. This includes a £1,000 penalty for any international arrival who fails to take a mandatory test, a £2,000 penalty to any international arrival who fails to take the second mandatory test, as well as automatically extending their quarantine period to 14 days. And a £5,000 fixed penalty notice, rising to £10,000 for arrivals who fail to quarantine in a designated hotel. We're also coming down hard on people who provide false information on the passenger locator form. Anyone who lies on the passenger locator form and tries to conceal that they've been in a country on the red list in the 10 days before arrival here will face a prison sentence of up to 10 years. These measures will be put into law this week, and I've been working with the Home Secretary, the Border Force and the police to make sure more resources are being put into enforcing these measures. I make no apologies for the strength of these measures, because we're dealing with one of the strongest threats to our public health that we've faced as a nation. I know that most people have been doing their bit, making huge sacrifices as part of the national effort, and these new enforcement powers will make sure their hard work and sacrifice isn't undermined by a small minority who don't want to follow the rules. Mr. Speaker, in short, we're strengthening the health protection at the border in 3 crucial ways: hotel quarantine for UK and Irish residents who visited a red list country in the past 10 days, and home quarantine for all passengers from any other country, a 3-test regime for all arrivals, and firm enforcement of pre-departure tests and the passenger locator form. Our fight against this virus has many fronts, and just as we're attacking this virus through our vaccination programme, which is protecting more people each day, we're buttressing our defences against these vital measures so we can protect the progress that we've worked together so hard to accomplish. And I commend this state.
TAWKradio.com. God dog it, let's talk about this. Because it's talk radio, let's talk about this. Can we just call... You guys got to hear this with your own ears. A lot of times when you guys send me things and want my feedback, especially when it's from other people, other talkers, other people, people's opinions are what they are. And a lot of times you guys go, no, well, I don't believe them. I don't believe them. So now you heard an elected official stating this piece, right? And so they said all the people that come in from those red states or red countries or whatever they called it have to go to these government-run hotels, government-taken over hotels. So the government made some partnerships with some private hotels. Obviously, tourism has been down. Now you got guaranteed money coming in from the government and these passengers, right? You're going to split the money with them. So now $1,750. Right now, the Great British Pound is really the strongest currency right now, isn't it? So that's like $2,110 based on the current currency rates today. $2,110 to go into, to pay the government of England to treat you like a prisoner. And notice what they said it covers. It covers your stay in this particular hotel. It covers your COVID testing and your transportation. It does not cover your food. Let's pay attention to that for 1 second. So you pay $2,110 plus whatever the price of that gigantic ticket is and the test they gave you before you got on the plane. So you get to this hotel and they got military guys they got to pay. They got cameras set up in the hallways and you have to go to this particular place. So now you go into this place for 10 days and you have to eat for 10 days, but no food is included and you're absolutely not allowed to leave your room, not even in the hallway. So you have to eat what I'm sure is the overly expensive room service food. And while they're overly testing you guys that are in the room, who is testing the people cooking your food to make sure their COVID-ridden asses are not cooking your food that they're charging you too much money for? And more than that, you've got to be tested on day 2 and day 8 of this 10-day quarantine. And if you nix any of those, if you screw up any of those 2 tests, you got to stay for an additional 10 days, obviously at your own expense. So now again, they're not doing rapid testing, I'm sure. That's right in front of your face. It's got to go to a lab because they made sure to say, because I'm sure people would ask, well, okay, I'm up for all of this stuff. I want to come to the UK that bad. I'm going to take your test. I'm going to let you poke me, dig out my nose holes, whatever you're going to do. But they said we do a genome test or something like that to make sure you don't have any particular variant. So they made sure to say they're taking it back to a lab. Now, who gets to decide? Because I don't trust anybody. Who gets to decide what percentage of people gets that automatic, oh, you got COVID test, right? That results. Oh, this person, well, let's check their passport. They went to, they were in Guyana and Jamaica and Bar. In this span of time, they must have got some money. So they can afford, we can assume that they were exposed to a lot of people and we can justify saying they got COVID. So you got COVID and you have to spend another mandatory 10 days with us. Now suppose your vacation is only 14 days and you decided I'm going to spend 10 days in a hotel in London just because it's London and I can go out and chill for 4 days. But now your 14-day vacation has been turned into a 20-something day vacation because somebody decided to say that you got COVID. So another 10 days. Where's that money coming from? And if they're successful with this shit, all the other countries are going to start doing it too, because I feel like it's a plan for everyone to block off themselves from everybody else and make it very expensive to start going into where you need to go. This is not going to stop, you guys. This is not going to stop. So if they can keep the poor people, because I don't even know that it's a pigmented tax. I want to call it a melanin tax. Because all the melanated countries is on this red list. I think, like she said, it's for like one European country. But a melanin tax. So you do all these things and it's a lot of money. So you're talking about very easily going into the UK now, after February 15th when they implemented this thing. And you pay this US dollars. So $21.10 for a hotel stay initially. Let's assume you're spending, no one goes on vacation by themselves. So 2 people eating daily in a hotel, this food they have to eat from the hotel itself, got to be at least $100 or $200 a day. $200 a day, 3 meals a day for 2 people. That's not unfathomable. $200 a day for those 10 days is another $2,000. Right? And if they quarantine your ass again, another $21.10. So you're talking about a $6,000 stay to sit your ass in a hotel in the UK? Keep your asses out of their countries is effectively what they want to tell you. Keep your ass out of our country, or we're gonna charge you for the pleasure of being locked away here. And once you realize how uncomfortable and expensive it is, you won't bring your ass back. And if you're one of our residents, you won't take your ass back to the melanated place that made us quarantine you and drain your money to begin with. Are you guys smelling this? Do you smell what's happening here? Can you smell what the UK is cooking? And other countries, I'm sure it's coming. And then there was a bomb threat today in Daytona Beach, Florida. I don't know how far that got, if it was a farce or whatever. Someone's testing something. But when they start having things like that, mandating you to take vaccines to get on planes and all these things, a lot more people are going to be driving. So I want you guys to pay attention today, here, March 3rd, 2021, when I say it here on the show. I've been driving around New York and I've noticed that the price of gas is going through the roof. And I would not be surprised to see that in New York, premium gas for the high-end vehicles, for the SUVs and things, hit $5 a gallon before the summertime. I would not be surprised to see that. You guys pay attention to that. Start budgeting for that. Cypher's telling you that right now. If you're in New York City and even in your own states, look at the gas prices and where they're moving. Look at the gas prices and where they're moving. Start to pay attention. Start to budget for it. I know a lot of you are going to be very excited to go outside when things are opening. I know Texas and I think one of those M states, Missouri, Minnesota, someplace, they're opening everything back up, full capacity, no masks, no this, no that. Where the COVID numbers are going to go, I don't know. But they're open for business. Now, they might have done that to distract people from what happened with that crazy power line situation where people come to realize one private person owns the entire power plant for Texas. They got knocked offline during some freak snowstorm type situation a couple of weeks ago, and people were getting $10,000 and $15,000 light bills, and they need to make that money back in the States. They said, hey, come down here, party with us, do whatever you like. It's kind of like Sin City in Texas. So for anybody who wants to know what's going on, you can go down there into the COVID-related bars and places and get yourself a good time and get sick while you're at it and that kind of thing, and Bob's your uncle. I'm just saying. But the business of sickness is a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's not going to change. Like I said, they have these vaccines rolling out. Governments are paying these private drug companies billions of dollars to inoculate their citizens with God knows what. They're already saying it's not stopping anything now. New variants in place. It's a waste of time. And if you guys can't see that, I'm sorry for you. I'm almost sorry for you. Almost. Because I think you know better. You're just wanting to comply. You're just being sheep. Stop being sheep. Start standing up. I'm wondering how come you guys were in the streets for everything that was happening outside of what concerns you. People were dying that you didn't know. You're fighting for rights and all that. That's great. Wonderful. A good thing to do. But are you not willing to do the same kind of fighting for yourself? Make people give you answers. Make them do things. They told you guys, do these things and things will go back to normal. Here's a funny thing. Hear about this. So you got your shots and everything is open. Right? But you got no fucking money to enjoy it. Who's going out to the places? How long do you think they're going to continue to give you guys this extra money for unemployment? Free paper bun at some point. Dalios mash up at some point. Everything has an ending point and no one seems to be planning for it. Where are you getting the money from to go to these places that are now open? Where is it coming from? Are you still waiting for your stimulus check? Are you hoping they get to a point where they pass them every month? And when they start giving you guys money every month and turning this country, the entire country, into a welfare state, what the hell do you think is going to happen? At some point, you got to pay what you owe. My favorite line from the Boondocks cartoon, you got to pay what you owe. And what does that repayment going to look like? It's almost like making a deal with the devil is what it feels like. What are they going to make you guys do? What they're going to threaten to take away from you for this monopoly money they keep printing and handing you out? Because it doesn't even count as much. If you notice, every time we have a stimulus check coming in the US, slowly, prices start to creep. You don't believe me? Go to your supermarkets, check the prices of things now, and then look where the prices go after they approve the stimulus check in the Senate before you guys get it sent to you. Watch how things are going. Prepare for this. The money they're giving you is not worth the paper it's written on by the time you receive it. If you're able to go into the supermarket now and get a pack of chicken in New York, I think a pack of chicken legs of like 10 chicken legs or something, it's like $7. I assure you, by the time it passes through Senate That same pack of chicken for $7 is going to end up being about 10 or 12. By the time they know people start receiving the checks, it might be more than that. The excuse is going to be, oh, it's summertime, people are barbecue, whatever the shit sense is going to be. I'm telling you guys, the money they're printing that your grandchildren will pay for, that I'm sure you don't give a shit about because you're like, fuck it, I'll be dead, I'll be gone, whatever. Someone's going to have to pay for what's being done now. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's get to the party portion of the show. I think I've got 3 songs here as exterludes for the evening. I do believe. 4 more for Yes, 4 more for exterludes for the evening. So here's the party portion of the show, you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and tuning into the Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 on Talk Radio. And so I'm going to play Blessed Remix, Buju Banton, Fabulous, and Jadakiss here on the Worldwide Wednesdays musical mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Y'all know what we been through. Y'all know where we come from. But we blessed, big blessed. Buju, got you. Yo, I'm talking about struggles and setbacks, losses and get backs. Blowing through the money I should've just let stack. Then it took off, I got me a jetpack. Like I flew there Delta, but hopped on a jetpack. Upgraded my fly, updated supply. Hustle, don't sleep, I'm up late with my guy. Could be worse though, like upstate or NY. Or homies toasting to you with cups straight to the sky. Overall, we big blessed. More money, more problems like big stress. Gotta keep mommy fly, all the kids dressed. You know I'm cold with it, straight out the fridge fresh. Prayed for it, got up and parade for it. Flowing through your block, it looked like I made for it. First I freestyle, then I got paid for it. My time to shine, now they throwing shade for it. What's up?
Tell them we blessed, tell them we blessed, tell them we blessed. Tell them we blessed, tell them we blessed, tell them we blessed. Tell them so we still have life, we no stress. God light shine on we, ya no walk west. Screw where your man want pray, we no press. Bless up who down when we fuck the rest. Tell them we no block like God and we no this. Money follow we like peace, so them a guess. How come we still look clean and them a mess? Eventually they will see who is watching over me.
I'm a grown man and I do what I'm supposed to do. Mama told me, show me your friends and I show you you. You can see the lies they told us become
TAWK Radio.
When we coming through. Soldiers no longer with us, now they live through the crew. I'm bringing the gorillas, you only bringing the glue. Think you got the answers, you really don't have a clue. Life's a write-off, but don't ever bite off more than you can chew. There's some, there's plenty, then there's few. Can't find any to spit it like I spew. We get money and stay fresh. When they ask about us, make sure you tell them that they blessed.
Tell them we blessed, tell them we blessed, tell them we blessed. Tell them we blessed, tell them we blessed, tell them we blessed. Now see me spend my last to impress. Tell them me no waste my own, me invest. Make them know me girlfriend want put in verse. Tell them me still look fine. I'm still a
TAWK Radio.
Pressure no man like some piss. Now so we make our own a success. Now hesitate to protect we interest. Stay focused, me a time for progress. Now follow them like the road and beaches. No matter where a man want talk, me careless. And this me want you digest. We a strive and a reach to be goal. Them a fight and a spite through them in control. Them a real asshole. But a long time, we a fight for a slice of the bread. Them a scheme and a dream and a wish we fi dead. But a God have we head. And I know just now, we a scream and a cheer for the team. Them a plan out fi bench we and them rule supreme. Like a them want fi clean. You can imagine, we a try move out of the shackle. Them a cry and a spy, them a try stop we clock. Yes, I walk we back. Tell them so we bless. Tell them 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 we bless.
TAWK Radio with your host Cypher Kai. I just got some information, you guys. Let me share it. So apparently they stole more things from us. Someone's telling me they copied that model from countries that have been doing that since last year and have been effective at keeping their COVID numbers low. In Grenada, apparently, you had to also had to quarantine in government-approved hotels, and testing is still required. Now, I'm trying to find out: were they charging the same amount of money? The problem is the U.S. and U.K. messed up in the handling of the spread, while in the Caribbean and South Pacific kept their cases at or below 100, with single-digit deaths or no deaths. So now the UK wants to follow the lead of countries that protected their citizens. Very nice. They're always stealing things from us, though, aren't they? always robber barons. But yes, I was saying, I know the West Indies had kept their numbers really low, which was always very impressive. I forgot, there was one West Indian country at the height of the pandemic that had no cases whatsoever. I can't remember which one it is, but I was very impressed. I really was impressed. But anyway, so again, they got the model from what the West Indies has been doing. The numbers are low. So if you guys are going to take your asses on a plane and go to the Caribbean, have a good time, get some clean seawater on you, what you need, I'm going to tell you guys what you need. God has already given us what we need to heal everything that's going on with us if we pay attention. Sunlight, salt water is very cleansing. If you can't get on a plane, don't want to get on a plane, fill your bathtub, clean the tub out really clean. Sit in your bathtub, put some Himalayan salt or something in it, put some underwear on. You don't want it going up inside your junk, right? So, but just kind of soak in it. Like put on like a bathing suit or something and sit in your tub and just let the salt water get on you. Go outside, take a walk, sit on your porch or something if you've got a balcony, and just let some sun touch your skin, kiss your skin. Look what it does for the plants and everything else. It's good for you. You don't necessarily have to travel anywhere, but you do need to take in nature. Don't let them take that from you. Good grief. Don't let them take that. Anyway, as we continue here, we got this one from Miss Alakai Harley. She was she's a new artist we broke, I think like maybe 2 weeks ago or so. Some new news, and I decided to put this in the rotation now. Miss Alakai Harley, Take It to Them, here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
We I go take it to them. No for them I come chat, but them not say no trend. Take we I go take it to them. God bless from Birmingham, turn up in a shot. Yeah, yes, funny bikini. Humble as shit, bitch, you know fit me. I'm too blessed, pray and I miss me. If I feed them, I feed them, I feed me, I feed me. So me have to work for when more. Do more one thing, no mix with drama. If I have a plan, now that me pray upon. Now sit down on the pin, pan a man. Worried how to be the truth, so I ain't never had to worry.
TAWK Radio.
And you know I really do this, so when I pull up on the stage, that's the track ain't just BBs. Body girl, me full of harmony. I'm in a for this, a girl forget my boss, so you mean. Man, my one business, I work for my team. It's not one time in this, I got time in like slow your road. Man, I for follow trend, me just do my one thing, you're my bad for my own. And I ain't being cocky, I'm dishing out straight fucks, now I run for the throne. Then after me, and I eat it. When mommy raised the queen, I've been queen since way back. Now I know my worth, and I know exactly where I'm heading. I got bad mind, nobody, man, I got block my blessing like. We are gonna take it to them, no for them I come.
TAWK Radio with Cypher Kai.
We are gonna take it to them. God bless from Birmingham, turn up in a shot. Yeah, yes, funny bikini. Humble as shit, bitch, you know feel me. I'm too blessed, pray and I miss me. If I feel them, I feel them, I feel me, I feel me. Know that I was gonna do this, so every rhythm when my touch, but I know that I get my up. I ain't tryna be no nuisance. My mother from me from yard is a must that I leave. When I lock I touch down, them I catch heart attack. And I'm mediocre thing, you're the song off a shot. If no money now run, me have to find out for that. With a no bar, sure, you're my god, now I got flop. Now watch the face, praise God in any weather. Still I fight with my head under pressure. Take we I go take it to them now. Watch no bad man, don't need no whole heap of friend now. Take we I go take it to them. No for them I come chat, but them not say no trend now. Take we I go take it to them. God bless from Birmingham, turn up in a shot. Yeah, yes, funny bikini. Humble as shit, bitch, you know feel me. I'm too blessed, pray and I miss me. If I feed them, I feed them, I feel me, I feel me. Worried how to be the truth, so I ain't never had to worry about nobody gon' do it.
TAWK Radio.
So when I pull up on the stage, that's the track ain't just BBs. Body girl, me full of harmony. I'm in a for this, a girl forget my boss, so you mean. Man, my one business, I work for my team. It's not one time in this, I got time in like. Take we I go take it to them. No for them I come chat, but them not say not trend now. Remember we couldn't fly, we never have no visa. Money picking in to get flights to a visa. Remember we couldn't fly, we never have no visa.
TAWK Radio with your hostess Cypher Kai on the ones and twos. The last two exterludes for the evening. I do have some more information. What is this here? So someone was... Okay, hold on. So they're saying that in Grenada, you got to download an app on your phone so they can track you, so they know if you leave the hotel. So they're doing these things in Grenada as well. Wow. It does help the hotel industry, of course, because, like I said, no tourists have been somewhere for a while. You do a partnership with them, whatever. But the tracking is all about the tracking. All of this boils down to the tracking. Whether you believe from a biblical standpoint of the mark of the beast, the 666, the microchips or whatever, it all boils down to tracking. They want to know where you are to control your movements and everything else. I'm saying, check the permissions in the apps that you download on your phone. You give away so much of your freedoms for convenience. It's unbelievable. I'm guilty of it as well. I see the app and they go, oh, read through this. Nobody reads that shit. They know nobody reads that shit, but they have to legally put it in there. But nobody reads that. You want what you want. You want to download your app, get your coupons, your discounts or whatever, and you don't care what it says. Accept, and that's it. We've been giving it away for a long time. Just be mindful of what you're doing. Don't complain afterwards. All right. So the last two songs for the evening. This next one is Deserve It All by Jadelle, here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Yes, up you woman then. How I need you tonight. Hey, yeah, you body tight. Every man I will hold you tonight, yeah. Girl, you body right, but they kinda tune you, baby. Party all day, me like that life. Champagne popping, me want no lie. Hey, me only want it tonight, yeah. Whether you a bad girl in a sheet, yeah, or you link one time just between ya, or you want to settle and hold on, whether you're the rough or the slow down, don't let them tell you what you can't do now. Girl, go, you should have it all, like on your wine and your body up, you can spend it all.
TAWK Radio with Cypher Kai on the ones and twos.
You can have anything, spend money. Them cannot judge you for the things you do. Y'all pull up with your crew and go hard. Whether you a bad girl in a sheet, yeah, or you link one time just between ya, or you want to settle and hold on, whether you're the rough or the slow down, don't let them tell you what you can't do.
TAWK Radio, Worldwide Wednesdays. WK Radio with your host Cypher Kai. So I've been informed that St. Kitts and Nevis and Dominica had 0 deaths from COVID. amazing. I knew it was something. I couldn't remember what it was. And I think they're saying Grenada had one death. That might have been misdiagnosed. More than likely. So there are some melanated places that are unscathed. I'm sure a lot of the African countries as well didn't have it either. I swear, these people and the narratives that went around for this pandemic. Anyway, I did say, I called an audible earlier, said I would replay Miss Maya's song. I don't remember if this is a new tonight or not. It sounded really good though. So I'm going to end it off. I started with her. I'm going to end it off with her. I like this song, Miss Maya. Shout out to you and your people. I will be reaching out soon to see when we can have a conversation on Talk Radio, because we don't do interviews here. We have conversations. But I want to let you know I love all your new music. Thank you guys for trusting me with it to play it. And it's really good. It's really good. And I don't know what you're doing with yourself, but you look really great. Like no time has touched you at all. And keep up the good work, yes? So this is True Love by Miss Maya. It's a replay for the evening. And so what? I'm DJing and I feel like it. So there it is. And Bob's your uncle. True Love by Miss Maya here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6 on Talk Radio.
Tell him since the day I met her, I haven't been myself. Frankly, I don't care. I'm changing for the better. But better me than her, 'cause honestly, I think she got it all together. I'm looking at the new me. I didn't want to, but I know I had to. Now I'm on to it matters.
TAWK Radio.
Let the past go. No more. No more, no more, no more. No longer repeating, finally deleting photo after photo. 'Cause when you too legit, you don't put up with you ain't about. I hate that. Just had to say that, 'cause you know it's true. You don't have to be famous. It's true. You could be nameless. It's true. Desire what's inside of you. It's not impossible to find. True love. I thought I'd never feel that. I'm talking about a true love. They ask me how you find that. It's been a bit of a journey. One hell of a ride, but I held on real tight and knew in due time I would find.
TAWK Radio.
He know what to say. Always reminding me that I'm a queen. Love a best friend, ride or die at the same time. Life for him's a dream. You know what I mean. This is what I mean. Yeah, it's true. You don't have to be famous. It's true. You could be nameless, it's true. Desire what's inside of you. It's not impossible to find. True love. I thought I'd never feel that. I'm talking about a true love. They ask me how you find that. It's been a bit of a journey. One hell of a ride, but I held on real tight and knew in due time I would find true love. I thought I'd never feel that. I'm talking about a true love. They ask me how you find that. It's been
TAWK's Radio with Cypher Kai. TAWK Radio with your host, Cypher Kai. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight, checking me out, spending some time with me, listening to me and my opinionated self, talking about the business of sickness here on the Worldwide Wednesdays Musical Mix at 6. I didn't get a chance to do this until now, and I'm so sorry, you guys. I normally do it in the beginning of the show. The countries that made the biggest movement from the last broadcast on Wednesday till now is the Russian Federation, Macedonia, Puerto Rico, and Barbados. You guys are amazing. That's outside of the United States because we broadcast from here. Their numbers are higher, obviously. Please, if you're so inclined to come back and have some grown-up conversations with us on the Freaky Fridays. That's coming up on Friday, March 5th, 2021 at 8 p.m. So the Friday night start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Wednesday start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll all be more uniformly reorganized because every day of the week will be on at the same time of the day. Still trying to find out what time of the day it's going to be. So we'll do all new promotional materials, keep you guys updated and in the loop about that. That is coming up soon. I'd like to do a launch of that before Memorial Weekend because I want to do some big giveaways for you guys Memorial Weekend of 2021. We got a little sidetrack with the world breaking apart last year with some giveaways we were supposed to do. Hopefully we can get back on track this year. So we'll see how all of that fleshes out. But again, thank you so much for hanging out. That song is really nice. I think I need to add it to my grown-up playlist. I have a particular special playlist for when the goes down. And I think I need to add that Maya song to it. I'm going to get off the air and play that one more time, actually. I really, really like it. All right, you guys. So come back and see me on Friday, if that's your cup of tea. We're talking about and continuing the ABCs of Sex series, the letter I. I also have two sex-related articles I'm going to read on the air that you guys have sent me and what my opinion on. So we'll discuss those things and talk about that stuff. And if you got onto the show late, please feel so inclined as I come off the air to reload the page. It'll start you back from the beginning. If you're listening from your desktop or on your phone, if there's any songs that you like, I do have them queued up where you can hear the artist's name. Sorry, you can see the artist's name and the title of the song in the little dots that's there. And when you're listening to the archive, as you notice, I always say the artist's name and the name of the song. If you want to go follow them on social media and support them, shout out Talk Radio when you go on the social media. If you'd like, you can do those things as well. So it's been a great evening, you guys. One hell of a journey, one hell of a ride is what Miss Maya just said, wasn't it? So I hope you guys all have a great evening. Please stay safe. Come back on Wednesday. And if that's not your cup of tea, come back next week, Wednesday. Sorry, come back Friday, live radio. If you're so inclined, come back on Friday for the Freaky Fridays. If that's not your cup of tea, I will see you here by God's grace next week, Wednesday, and we'll have some more important discussions then. All right, you guys, good night, my lovelies.